First thing we're going to do is potting on and potting up. There's 3 parts to this question in the exam. First thing is you're going to be presented with 3 plants and you have to identify which one needs to be potted on. You then are asked to pick out which plant pot you're going to use. You don't actually have to physically pot the plant on, it's just about selecting the right pot. So the way to find out if a plant needs potted on is take it out of its pot and have a look at the root ball. That looks alright, there are not seen very many roots around the sides and at the bottom of the root ball, so that one's fine. This one looks to me already as if it's going to need potted on. The plant looks too big for the pot, there's weeds growing on top. The final test, if you turn it over underneath, you can see there's roots growing out the bottom. And if you take it out the pot, you can see that it is actually pot bound, the roots are spiralling round. So my guess would be that's the one that's to be potted on. But just do a check on the last one as well. Carefully take the plant out the pot, have a look, and see you don't see any roots at all on that root ball, so that one's fine to stay there. So this is a plant that would be getting potted on. Have a quick look at the pots that you've got available. Make sure you're basing it on the size of the root ball, so you might need to tease out the roots a bit just to see how big the root ball's actually going to get. It's too much. And have a quick go with a couple of pots just to see how they fit. Yeah, I think this one's just obviously too big, it's too deep, it's too much of a jump for this plant. This one's the same, it's just too big for the plant. The roots would end up sitting in water and the roots would become, they would start to rot. So I think I will actually go with, that would be my selection. So in the exam it would just be a case of indicating to the examiner that that's the pot that you're selecting and put it back. And that's that bit of the question done. Okay, that's that bit. The second part of this exam question for potting on and potting up is to pot up seedlings. And first thing you get marks for is setting up your workbench. So it's the same as everything, you work from left to right, so you start with your plants and your seed tray on your left, you're going to finish over here on your right with the plants that have been put into pots, and this is your working area. Make sure you just put your labels to the side because that's the last thing you're going to do as well. So you just carefully take out the seeds from the seed tray. And you're just going to work one at a time. You're going to be asked to plant up 5 seedlings. The first thing to do is make sure that the pot has been cleaned out. So just over a bucket, just give it a quick clean. Okay. And then getting some of your compost, make sure you break down any of the bigger lumps and put some in your pot. Take off one of our seedlings and try to be as careful as possible, but the roots can take a bit of pressure, just to remove one of the seedlings from the tray. So I've got 2 there, so just split that one. And with seedlings, when you're handling them, it's important to handle them by the leaves rather than the stem, because you don't want to break the stem. When you plant it, you'll see 2 leaves at the bottom that look different than the shape of the other leaves. These are called the seed leaves. That's actually where you're going to plant up to. So the compost is going to come up to this level here. So if you just hold it carefully over the pot to get the level. So you're looking to level where these seed leaves are with what's called the lip of the pot. So take a wee drop out because that's a bit high up. Just check again. Yeah, I think that's fine. So then carefully holding the seedling in the centre of the pot, just put in some compost round about. Just tap it down a couple of times every now and then just to make sure there's no air pockets in the pot. And when you've got the compost up to the level of the seed leaves, just gently firm it in, and you're aiming to have the compost, as I said, level with the lip of the pot. And the plant as close to the centre of the pot as you can get. That's one done. And put it in the tray. Quickly do another one. So brush out your pot. So that's the time it takes to do 5 seedlings. Last thing you need to do is write the name of the plant on a label. So you put the date at the top, make sure the pointy ends point to your right hand, and you only need to do one label for the 5 pots, and you just put it in the pot at the front. And then the very last step is just to make sure they're watered in. And that's potting up.